Hey guys, Aletha here, talking about negative personality traits. We all have them, and we just have to learn to determine whether we want them or not. Negative personality traits are the traits that leads you to failure, both in a relationship, whether it be professional or personal. And so, in learning to identify these traits, you can use them as negative feedback into your body, into your mind. And such negative feedback, what it does is it like a as I've been saying, our body has this automatic servo mechanism that corrects itself, and the brain is a part of that servo mechanism. But the brain, that mechanism doesn't work very well unless you are in a state of flow. And to be in a state of flow, you have to start becoming more mindful about things that are causing impact to the flow. I want you to take a look at this river, and I want you to take a look at the rock that's in the middle. And I want you to take a look at those rocks that are over there. And look how the river is literally flowing around the obstacles. And so when we start talking about personality traits, we want to identify these rocks that are in our way and that are causing the flow of our energy and our chi to slow down or go into a low vibration. So we want to create ways to fix them. So the first step is to identify that you do not want these traits. And I want to talk about the word failure and the acronym that it also represents. The first letter in failure is the letter F, and it talks about frustration. Nobody wants to be frustrated around other people. So identifying things that frustrate you. To start, identify your top 5 core values. Those will understand, I'm sorry, those will explain to you why you're getting upset sometimes because your boundaries are being violated around some of those core principles. The next part of failure is the letter A and aggression. Again, a trait that is deemed unwelcomed by most people on this planet. So I hate to use the word negative, but aggression is a negative connotation, and so no one wants an aggressor, somebody that's a bully or not nice and sincere or showing compassion. So identify when you're being aggressive and what you can do to remove that. Now, there's a difference between being assertive and aggressive. So, aggressive has the negative part, it has the ill regard for the other person. And so, assertiveness, though, considers the safety and the wellness of the other person or being. And so, know the difference between assertive and aggressive. So for me, the opposite of so what I'm going to take is take the acronym failure as I'm talking, and I'm going to tell you what the opposite is. So for the letter F, where we talk about frustration, my letter F is focus, and for the letter A, aggressive, my letter is assertive. And let's talk about the next letter, which is I. The negative trait is insecurity. And we talk about insecurity when people are codependent and are or have trust issues, and so they feel insecure about the people that they're in a relationship with or the people that they're around. They do not feel safe. And what do you do when you feel insecure? You start saying and doing things or even isolating yourself from others. And so, what's the opposite of insecurity? For me, my opposite, and I think I wrote it down, is inspired. Find ways to communicate with people and be inspired by that other person's gift of who they are. Enjoy their essence, enjoy their soul. So, inspired is my I. The next part of the letter failure is L, and it talks about loneliness or lack of oneness. When we feel like we're alone and we look outside to others for that space to fill that space. I am completely enjoying being down here by myself, listening to the birds, being one with nature, and being okay with being lonely today. And so for me, my letter L is actually leader or learn. I am a lifetime learner. I love learning about things. So just sitting here and looking at that one rock, I've learned so much about force. I've learned so much about ease. I've learned so much about learning to let go and just allowing myself to flow downstream instead of against the current. The next letter is U, uncertainty. When we are uncertain about our future, we start to worry or bring stress and anxiety into our system. And that anxiety and stress, even though some of us may not speak about it, our energy is reflecting it. And so people who are empathic might feel that low vibration and not want to be around you. So the uncertainty, we want to switch that around. And I look at the letter U as union, to be in union with the presence of the unified field, to be present with the to be in union with nature, to be in union with people around us. And so for me, the letter U is union instead of uncertainty. The next letter of failure is R, resentment. Holding contempt or ill regard for other people really puts you in a very low vibration, and nobody wants to be around you with that. And so for I really if somebody has a lot of resentment, that negative energy is coming through their heart so well. And you might pretend and smile like this and put on a mask, but people can feel resentment energy. And even though some people are not aware or in connection with their intuition and may not feel the resentment and just think that the person is just not is being quiet or um but the energy is still being put out there to the world. And so we are still sending out, when we hold resentment, we're putting negative energy out into the world, and that energy does affect Mother Earth. So let's consider taking care of Mother Earth and not being resentful. My R for that is to be refreshed. Find ways to be at peace. Find ways to just look at things in a peaceful and refreshing manner. The last letter is E, emptiness. To feel an emptiness like you don't belong is the worst thing because it brings out some negative things, traits in your personality. So finding peace within yourself and being okay with being alone or being okay with being who you are, as long as you are living an authentic life and being your best self. Your best self. And I know we talked about the fact that by the time you are 25, you are living an automatic life based on your environment, all the suggestions that have been forced down in your throat since you were a child. But when you start discovering who you are and how you can spiritually connect to the world, you become your own person. And when you find yourself, that E becomes elevated. You find a way to connect and vibe and flow and flow. And so that is my message today when we talk about negative personality traits and choosing how to look at failure traits that cause failure in relationships and communication. So, again, let's talk about the negative version of failure. We talk about frustration, we talk about aggression, we talk about insecurity, loneliness, uncertainty, resentment, and emptiness. And for me, I said, let's switch that around and change that to focus, being um, assertive, inspired, being a leader or a learner of life, being in union, refreshed, and elevated. This is Aletha Williams saying, you can do it. Identify those traits that you no longer want so that they could be You can become aware of them, and your brain will start serving as a negative feed them as a negative feedback. And as you see them and you're aware of them and you no longer want to be them, you use the word change in your mind as you see yourself doing a change, and then you stop doing it, and that negative feedback loop becomes smaller because the more you practice being aware that you no longer want to be that person, it will change you into your best self. So thank you so much. Bye.